we just published our new book, The Best Known Roofer, and it's the roofing omnipresence marketing system, right? So we really truly believe in being everywhere to your perfect customer, and that's what drives that consistent lead flow to your business. So today we're going to cover a lot. We're going to cover a lot. This presentation is kind of the big presentation, the overview, but it's part of an ongoing series that we do. We used to call it the dominance framework, but now these are going to be reframed as the Best Known Roofer series. And so we're going to talk about creating an action plan for your company, setting your company apart with video, building a website for SEO and for your visitors, right? There's a fine balance there. Having your kind of what is the new, gallery for where customers can view your work and develop that trust with your company. And that's really social media. We're going to make the connection for top maps rankings, content marketing for next level wins, talk about how reviews matter more than ever, what you may be missing with Google ads. We're going to talk about local service ads, Facebook ads, and how to do that the right way and have the right mindset around that. We're going to talk about YouTube ads, which is really exciting. And that's kind of a next level thing that's happening in the digital marketing arena. And then retargeting and follow-up, right? So a lot of stuff here today. So if you could turn off your cell phones, turn off Facebook. I'll do the same thing here. I know it's hard to not check your notifications on Instagram while we're on the call here, but if you could do so, if you're a roofing business owner, this really could have an impact on your bottom line this year. So I'm going to hit do not disturb on my phone, put that down. So, next 60, 90 minutes, I'm here. I have time set aside. I'll be here to through to answer questions at the end. We can spend a lot of time together. I got time booked, through this afternoon for this. So who am I? If you don't know me, my name is Jim Aline. I'm the co-founder of Roofer Marketers. I am also the host of the Roofing Success podcast. We are the authors of a couple of books, Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors, The Best Known Roofer, part of the NRCA. I speak at a lot of industry events, most recently Win the Storm. We work with roofing company owners. That's it. We only work with roofing companies. So the mission of Roofer Marketers is to help roofing contractors generate more revenue through their digital marketing efforts. And we do that through two ways. We do that through our agency, where we actually do the work for you, but we also do that through our education in things like this webinar series here. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is the three principles of an omnipresence framework, right? To being omnipresent in your market. So this is really kind of the core of what we're going to go through today, and it's really important to learn. So the first thing that you want to do to become the best known roofer is to maximize the opportunity for people to find you online, right? And so people, when they are looking for a roofing company, the first place they're going to go is to their mental Rolodex, right? So if they know of someone that they already know, like, and trust, they're going to go there first. They're going to make that phone call. So, but beyond that, then they're going to kind of split, right? Maybe they're going to ask a friend or family member, a neighbor, or they're going to go to Google, right? And so we want to be in as many of these places as possible, but the first place we want to be is in their mind, right? We want to be top of mind. And that comes from our second phase here, and that's in maximizing your brand impressions, right? There's an old rule in advertising. It's called the rule of 7. And in that rule of 7, it's explained that, and it was studied that it takes a person 7 times of seeing your brand before they even recognize it, right? So now with digital, with things like retargeting and remarketing, those ads that follow you around, with things like that, you can get your brand in front of the right person over and over again and make them know you before they need to call you, or when they're even looking for your services. And the third part of it is to maximize conversions. There's a lot of different ways of maximizing conversions. There's maximizing the conversion rate on your website, maximizing the conversion rate of your pay-per-click ads, maximizing the conversion rate of your Facebook ads, maximizing the conversion rate from lead to appointment set, right? There's a way to maximize that conversion rate. So we're going to talk a lot about that. So the first thing we're going to work through is setting up your goals. If you have goals for your company, I'd like you to put a 1 in chat right now. Jenny, Bill, Brian, Dante, right? You have to have goals, right? You have to understand where you are going, right? Not just where you're hoping to go, but where you definitively want to go, right? That's in setting up your goals. And we have the replay. You could go to our YouTube channel and watch the replay of our webinar that we do all around this, to really dial in your goal setting and understanding how many calls it will take. But then another thing that it comes through is your marketing budget. So how many of you have defined your marketing budget for the year? Another 1 in chat. Nice. So how did you define your marketing budget, right? Hey, Joe, I'm going to call on you. How did you come to a decision on what you're going to have for your marketing budget? Joe Richards. You there? Doesn't want to answer. How about you, Bill?
We came to a decision about what our marketing budget was because your book that I read on the way home from Windstorm. So we currently are going to use, my partner and I have decided that 3% of every job is going to go into a marketing fund. I was going to call it a slush fund, but a marketing fund, and that's where we're going to utilize it. So as things go, luckily for us, we're building 12 roofs right now. So nice. 3% of the gross of every one of those will be going into a slush fund towards that, and hopefully we can take advantage of it.
Awesome. Yeah. So one thing is you're kind of looking at it from, you're going to take money from each job to put towards the marketing budget. That's a great way to look at it. Yeah. When you're allocating your marketing budget, I like the 3% number. 3% to 8% is really where we see a lot of companies lie. It really depends on where you are at in your business, right? If you're a startup, your marketing budget may need to be 10%. I talked to one contractor who his first year in business, his marketing budget was 17%, right? But that is because he understood that he needed to make a big push into the market, right? He had to buy market share. So when thinking of your marketing budget, you have to have the mindset that you're essentially buying market share. Who is the easiest customer to sell to? How about, I saw Joe unmute there for a second. You there, Joe?
I'm here now.
Cool. What's the easiest lead to sell to? It's a loaded question. Repeat customer, right? Repeat customers and referrals, right?
Yep.
So once you have repeat customers and referrals, you don't need as much of a marketing budget, right? You're not buying those people again. It's just staying top of mind to those people, right? So in your marketing budget, when you're trying to make a push and go from, say, 2 million to 5 million, you have to buy that market share in a way, right? If you think about it that way. So you may need a higher percentage of your gross revenue to be allocated towards a marketing budget. Hope that makes sense. The next thing you want to do in creating your action plan is defining your perfect customer. So, are you a residential roofing company or are you a commercial roofing company, right? You may have multiple perfect customers that you sell to. We got my boy Francisco on the call today. He's he's in the commercial roofing side of things, right? So his perfect customer is going to be different than someone maybe in a storm damage restoration residential business, right? And you may have multiple perfect customers. You may define a perfect customer for your metal roofing service, right? You may define a perfect customer for for storm damage restoration versus retail. And then you're going to deliver your message to those people, and you're going to deliver a different message. Each of those people is going to have a different conversation with those people. So you want to make sure that you are communicating with your perfect customer in the right way. And again, we have that's part of that webinar that's on YouTube, the replay that goes into a lot of detail about that. And we'll be continuing this conversation through future webinars also. But if anyone has any questions on that, I'd be happy to have that conversation also. But a lot of it is going to come down to, right, in delivering your message in 2021 and going forward is going to be setting your company apart with video. That is going to be the strongest way that you're going to be able to deliver your message. And so marketers who use video grow their revenue 49% faster than non-video users, right? That alone should have you pulling out your cell phone camera and recording videos, right? And we're going to talk about some ideas on how to simplify this, right? 64% of consumers make a purchase after watching branded social videos. Video on landing pages can increase conversion rates by 80% or more. And really, it's very simple because it helps us to know, like, and trust the company that's marketing to us, right? It's very simple. 46% of users act after watching a video ad, right? That's a huge statistic. And viewers retain 95% of the message when watching a video versus 10% when reading it in text, right? So it's so much more memorable to your perfect customer. So shooting video is really what it's going to have to become a foundation of your company, right? Going forward. And how do you set your company apart with video? The first thing that, there's kind of 4 categories that we're going to talk about. So the first is brand awareness, right? That's just getting people to know you and like you and trust you, right? Getting people to know your brand in your market. Then there are lead generation videos. Those are more videos with an offer, right? Hey, there's storm damage in your area. We're in your neighborhood to, let us know if you'd like a free inspection. That would be the storm damage style of video. Lead generation, maybe a financing offer, right? And so you're making offers to people, free gutter cleaning with your, with this free, free shingle upgrade, things like that. And then there's retargeting videos. Those are the videos, are the ads that follow you around. So now in a retargeting video, you can actually have the conversation. Hey, saw you were on our website and didn't book a call. It only takes 15 seconds. There's a link below, schedule a call for your free inspection. And this is what we will do during that, right? We'll have someone come out to your house. We're going to do a thorough inspection of your roof, XYZ, right down the line there. Correct? See? And when you're creating video, sometimes it doesn't look like you're getting a lot of engagement, right? Especially on topics around roofing, right? And so, you could see some of the best YouTube channels, for roofing companies that are talking about roofing, not like a Dimitri or those guys, but, talking about roofing there may be, a couple hundred, views or something like that. But what you want to make sure that you understand, it's called the 1990 rule. 1% of people are creators, right? So with your video, with your social media, 1% of the population, right, are creators. 9% are contributors. Those are those people that'll comment and like and things like that. Then there's 90% of these people who are lurkers. And those lurkers are still seeing your content, right? They're just not saying anything. They may not be engaging. But what happens? You're still building that brand impression, right? You're still building upon that, getting into their mental Rolodex, right? And so here's a couple of just formulas that you can do, right, to put together videos for your company. So I got what, 6 of them here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here are six videos that you could create, and you could create multiple versions of these videos. So the first one is a client success story, right? You're showing before and after pictures of the, video of the project, demonstrating the transformation that happened on the roof, maybe some drone footage, the story of the homeowner. Hey, when we came out here, there was a hailstorm in this area. There was 1 3/4 inch hail, and this was the damage on the roof. And we were able to get this roof approved by their insurance, and they only had to pay their deductible. And this is what, this is the amazing transformation that happened. Look at this beautiful new roof that they have on their property. How many of you in chat, how many of you could do that, could film that video? Throw a 1. Man, only 2 of you. That's too bad. So out of the 20 on here, out of the 20 people that we got on here live, only 2 are going to be shooting videos. Dante and Bill, man, you guys are going to pull away from the pack big time this year.
We shoot videos at every chance we get.
That's right, man. How are these for some ideas for you on just, kind of to simplify things that you go, oh, okay, hey, today I'm going to do a character story, right? Today I'm going to teach on a topic. Today I'm going to do motivation. Is this helpful for you, Bill, in kind of building upon what you're already doing?
Yes. I mean, I came up with a couple ideas, and these are what, 5 more, 6 more that I can totally use. So
yeah, and you got to keep it simple. The other thing that you can do, which I think is very helpful, is to do these in batches, right? You could do all of these in one day, right? Film 5 or 6 of them in a day, schedule them out on your social media posts, upload them to YouTube, put them on a schedule, things like that. Another one is a character story, right? Tell your origin story. What drove you to start and build your roofing company, right? Kevin's going to shoot video too. Kevin, where are you on this? How are you shooting video right now?
I'm not. I just purchased a drone though, so
nice.
Gotta get my license for it and then start using that.
Nice. The other thing that we really avoid a lot of times, but man, it's the phone these days. It doesn't take much. Your phone has a great camera, right? Your phone has a great camera. So, just pull it out. Tell your story, right? Let me just ask you, Kevin, why did you start your roofing company?
I had a desire to put an honest company on the map out here. I got ripped off by multiple companies I worked for, and I was kind of sick and tired of the whole contractors thing, and I wanted to make a difference in the area here.
Yeah, man. So do that, right? Pull out your phone or have someone point your phone at you, right? And just tell that story. Tell the story of the things that happened maybe in the past, the things that drove you to, hey, that, got ripped off here or there or whatever it was. Tell that story. Another thing is teaching on a topic, right? You could, do something like, why ice and water shield is an essential part of a roofing system. And I would say that up north, that's definitely true up north, but now down even into Texas, you guys are probably going to be installing some ice and water shield after this winter. But, just teach on a topic, right? Teach on a topic of something that's part of essential to the roofing system that you're building. Talk about motivation, share a quote or something like that, and what it means to you, how it helps you. Be the expert. Show, go up on the roof and show damage that most people don't realize is there. Feature a member of your team, right? So now it's not just getting to know you, they're getting to know and like your whole team. So really putting all that together, and just doing this, if you did these 6 videos or five of these a week, now you have a content for the whole week, right? Do that on Monday, shoot the quick videos, set an hour aside, do a few videos, drop them out, schedule them out on your social media. The impact will be, it will be amazing. It will be crazy. Francisco, are you on here, man? Can you pop on? Francisco is I don't know if he's available right now, but he started doing a lot of video, probably over the last
Can you hear me?
year. Yeah, man, I can hear you. What impact has it made on your guys' business for shooting video?
It's working. It's working, but I'm gonna say something depending on the platform, man.
Yeah.
Because happens sometimes with LinkedIn is that people doesn't have time to view a video, so they read really fast. But like talking about the other platforms like Facebook and Instagram is the best way you can promote your business.
Nice, man. That's awesome. Yeah, LinkedIn is each social platform is going to be a little different. In Francisco, they're in commercial, right? So that is a point of a big focus of theirs is on LinkedIn and being in front of the perfect customer there. So, now we're going to move on. Any questions about video? Any comments? Feel free to pop in here. If not, we're going to move on to kind of the foundation of your online presence, and that's your website, right? And so we want to build a website for SEO and also for your visitors, for the conversion rate of your visitors. So we heat map websites. We've been putting, it's called Crazy Egg. It's a software that we use to heat map websites, and we can see where people's mouse, where they move their mouse and where they're looking and how much time they're spending on each thing. And what we find is that most of the time they're doing one of 3 things, right? They're either clicking on a call to action button or calling, they're clicking on the About Us page, right? Or they're leaving the site altogether, right? And that, it happens. People will come to your website and visit it, and then they'll leave. A good portion of them. Not everyone's going to call. So having your website formatted in a way that encourages that, right? So having your phone number in the upper right-hand corner, your free estimate or free inspection offer buttons here. What we call this is above the fold. When you get to a website, and before you have to scroll, everything that you're seeing is called above the fold. And so that's where you need these specific calls to action, right? Where you have a very limited amount of time to build that trust, right? So, highlighting, that you're, a local company, you're Better Business Bureau rated, you provide affordable financing options. So capturing someone's attention, showing that you're part of associations and local, Chamber of Commerce or, NRCA or things like that. All of those things are going to capture that attention when someone hits your website, right? And then when they click on free estimate or schedule a free call, we use what are called long forms. These were kind of put together by and this is kind of in that conversion rate optimization. We've tested forms with, multiple fields, and then we tested these long forms, and these long forms outperformed the standard forms by like 300%. So what happens is it's just a drop down. It just keeps asking them questions until they get to the end. And in doing so, you get a qualified lead on the other side. They've actually spent the time and answered, 4, 6, 8 questions before they get to submit their information to you. So that's all in that conversion rate optimization. One of the other things that's really important for conversion rate optimization and SEO is the site speed, is your site speed. If anyone is brave enough, drop your website into the chat area here, and we'll do a little review on it live if you're interested. So, and we'll kind of look at some of these things and maybe make some recommendations on anything that you might be able, might be looking at improving. ADP Roofing. All right, cool. We got Vincent. All right, Mr. Roof, or not Mr. Roof, RN Roof. All right, we'll take a look at these. So let's pop off of here real quick. Let's go to Google. You guys see Google now? Nikki?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Let me go to chat and pull up someone's website here. Where did my chat go? Sorry, guys. Oh, there it is. All right, chat. All right. All right, Melvin. We'll take a peek at this one first. APD Roofing. Cool. So see what I'm saying here, that this is what's above the fold, right? This is all above the fold here. Were you affected by the bad weather? Certified to handle water damage, cleanups, restoration. So do you guys do mostly roofing and restoration? Okay, I see what you're doing there. You can feel free to unmute, Melvin.
Sure.
Talk through some of this stuff. Authentic image definitely doesn't look like stock photography. Houston Roofing Company. So you're optimizing for Houston Roofing Company, APD Roofing. Okay. What was that pop up there? So one of the things you're missing a little bit on is your SEO. You have a good page title here, but this is probably your H1 tag. That's actually an H6 tag, but it's what's referred to as a header tag. So right here is where you would also want to talk about being a roofing company. With all of the services you guys provide, let me have a quick conversation with you. What's your main service, Melvin? What do you do first?
The main thing that we would prefer to do is the water mitigation, okay, and the roof repairs, roof repairs and roof replacement.
Okay. So those are a couple of really different.
Could you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you fine. I could hear you great. Yeah. So let's look at this. You guys are in Houston? Mitigation, Houston, right? Notice here on the in the map section, water damage.
In Houston and San Antonio.
And San Antonio, cool. We'll look at Houston real quick. So I just want you to see the way that Google thinks, right? Google is really going to separate these two services, roofing and water mitigation. You could see here water damage restoration service. So you'll want to make sure that you have that category selected in your Google My Business listing. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But you see here that this BMSCAT Houston they're optimized around water damage restoration. Drymore, water damage, right? Let's look at a couple more. United water damage restoration, right? Restoration One, water damage restoration. You are going to have an enormous challenge trying to rank for both of them. Because there are companies that just focus on water damage and companies that just focus on roofing, it's going to be harder to rank for both of them. Not that you can't, but you just have a little bit longer road in that regard. You'll have to make a decision on your homepage as to if you're going to focus your homepage on roofing or water mitigation. And then you'll have to build out your service pages, which you already have here, like roof replacement, roof leak repair, and work on ranking these pages versus your homepage for some of that stuff, which is a little bit more difficult. Hope that makes sense. Does that make sense to you?
Thank you.
Right? There's a challenge there. I like that you have your get free quote button. This is almost below the fold, right? So your phone number, I would pull that up. You may even be able to pull that up like over this image here to be on top of this image here or something like that. That might help you out a little bit. Let's see what we look like on mobile here. So it's not optimized for mobile. So that's another thing that you're going to have a tough time with. Mobile optimization is extremely important in today's search climate. And let's run you on page speed insights to see how. And any questions that you have, let me know while we're doing this, Marvin, and we'll, if you want some info on different stuff there. So.
Yeah, no, this is good.
All right.
Thanks.
Melvin, sorry, not Marvin, Melvin.
No worries.
All right. Yeah, and you could see here, like if we do roofing Houston, right? This is the difference here. So roofing contractor has to be selected as your main category. And you can see all these guys are very optimized around roofing. So it'll be a challenge from an SEO perspective. Site speed is not good, which is a big ranking factor. But those are the things, right? So you have to get a few things in order, get free quote. So I like that. This is a lot of stuff, right? This is the type of form that if I land on this, I'm like, whoa, where am I going to do? So really, first name, last name, what do email and phone, right? Can you get this information over the phone?
Yes, we also fill out the same form when we talk to them over the phone.
Yeah, right. So, but yeah, exactly. So if you could get this stuff over the phone versus you're gonna decrease the friction, right? You're gonna decrease the friction in that process. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So hopefully that was helpful for you.
Yeah, very helpful. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, no problem, man. All right, let's go to Vincent. Vincent, if you want to unmute, if you can. I know you said that you couldn't earlier, but good. Here you got your office addresses here in the upper. So the first thing I see here is that your site is not secure. So you got to get your site on secure hosting. It's a SSL, secure socket layer. It's easy stuff to set up. Make sure you get that set up. I like that you guys have all of your trust factors. You have a challenge. Your challenge here with your company is that you have the multiple offices, right? So your website is not optimized for any of them. So you're probably not ranking for anything in LaGrange, Victoria, or Lake Charles. And so when we do multiple locations like this, show you a client of ours. So this is a company that has multiple locations. You could see firstpriorityroofing.com, but now we go to locations and we have Denver and we have Tulsa, right? Now this website, this page is optimized for Denver. This one is optimized for Tulsa, right? So you have to optimize each of those locations separately. And then you got your metal roofing. Yeah, decent amount of content, so not too bad there. So really, you're going to have to separate the sections of your website for each of the locations, because people search, and Google works this way, right? Lagrange, right? So now we're in Lagrange here. This is how Google is showing. So Lagrange roofing, right? Number one. Why? Because Google only knows how to read. Lagrange roofing companies, Lagrange, right? Yelp, you can see the 10 best roofing near Lagrange. Roof BBB near Lagrange. It thinks Illinois instead of Texas, but you can see here it's all around. There you guys are down there in the last spot. So then we go to, is it Victoria? TX. You guys are in the smaller towns. That's awesome. Not as much competition out there. But you can see all of these are optimized around Victoria, right? Victoria. Home Advisor has everything is optimized around Victoria. So if you want to type in the chat for Vincent, if you guys, if that makes sense to you, why you're, if we're optimizing that way. Phone numbers are okay. No offers of like, hey, schedule a free inspection now, things like that. So getting that in there would be definitely beneficial for you. Right. Hopefully that helps. And Crystal, if you want to unmute, take a look at your stuff here. RN Roof. Nice. Right Now Roofing. All right. I like it. I like the video. This would be a good place to have a call to action where you have this, your license numbers. So you have your Tulsa and Florida location. So again, similar for you, Crystal, in the differentiation between the locations. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Residential. So then you have residential and commercial on one page. You can split that up. Those are two separate things in the mind of Google, right? So you could have pages for each of those. I like the branding. I like the blue and orange. You don't have just the normal house image that everyone has in their logos. So you guys are in Tulsa and Florida. Where in Florida?
Pensacola area.
Okay. So then maybe defining that a little bit further on there. But you're above the fold. I would like, so do you have Google My Business listings for each of the locations?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So for each of the locations, that's another thing. So like another thing that, so let me show you. So we have a company there. We have a company we work with down in, they're in Marietta and in Raleigh. And so when we click on their website from their Google My Business listing, it goes to their Raleigh page on the Raleigh GMB, and on their Marietta one, you'll see it goes to their Marietta page, right? And that is a big optimization factor. It'll help with your maps rankings a lot. So,
Okay.
Anything else? Is that helpful?
Yes.
Cool. All right. Well, let's get back to the slides then. So another thing that's changing a lot is, a lot of time the website galleries used to be very big, right? That was where you put all your work. We believe that today your website gallery is more your social media now, right? Providing, pictures of your team, pictures of your roofs that you're working on, things like that, blending it in with your own personality, and all of that. And then when you're at the kitchen table, you could say, hey, if you want to see our work, go check out our Facebook page, go check out our Instagram account, go check that out. And then you're getting people more into your funnel, right? They're in your funnel more often. So then you can use ads to retarget them. You get them to like your page. That's an audience that you can use for future branding and things like that, future ads. So then we'll talk a little bit about, kind of following up with that in the maps thing that we were talking about. There's a strong correlation between your website and your maps. But in your maps rankings, it's really based around three things: your relevance to the search query, the distance you are from the searcher or from the location that they typed in, and your prominence, the prominence of your brand online. So with relevance, as I was saying with Melvin, he has to choose water mitigation or roofing contractor as his primary category. So having that primary category set properly for your main service, the main service that you offer, that's your relevance, right? They're not going to show someone that has a category of plumber when someone types in roofing, right? So making sure that your categories are set properly for all of the services that you provide. Then it's distance. Google My Business listings are very proximity based. The further you get away from your physical location, the more difficult it is to show up in maps. So in that distance factor, one of the things that you want to think about is where your office location is. And is that in an area that your perfect customer is in? So for anyone, after I said that, if you just thought in your head, man, our address is in a terrible location, put 1 in chat. If you thought, great, we got a great office location, put 2 in chat for me. So we see, even 2 miles, 3 miles from your physical location, it's very difficult to, Kevin said 1.5. It's very difficult to show up, right, in the maps section. So, and then it's prominence. It's the amount of times that Google sees your brand presence online, your name, address, and phone number across the internet on all kinds of directories. Some of the top directories, top places that we have found, for you to make sure that you're on these. If you have a screenshot here, take a screenshot of this. Making the Better Business Bureau, having I know that there are some opinions on them out there. Same thing with Home Advisor. But having your business listed on those are very authoritative websites, right? And so having your business listed on them is authoritative to Google. Yelp, Facebook, being listed, if you're Owens Corning Preferred or a GAF Master Elite, something like that, being listed on their websites, depending on which one you work with, having your Twitter, your Instagram, your YouTube, your city's local chamber of commerce is a good one. Your roofing association listings. So if you're in the NRCA or the Western Conference or any of those, if you're in any of those, that's going to help you with those rankings in that prominence, right? Being prominent. Let's see. Luis said, "Can you?" Okay, so Luis has a question here about not providing a specific physical address and using maybe a zip code or what are referred to as service area businesses. So Luis, Google's going to send you a postcard to verify your address. You can unmute if you can, just unmute here for me.
All right, I'm here.
Cool. So Google has to send you a postcard to verify that your business is located at that address, right? On that postcard is a code that you put into your Google My Business listing dashboard to verify and validate your listing. So when you do that, when you get that, essentially Google knows your address, right? So it will work off of the proximity of the address that it mailed the card to. No matter how big you draw that service area bubble, or it's going to know, it knows where you are located.
Yeah, this is the situation.
Okay.
The other day I request an account and I realized there was the option to add the physical address so they can mail it the code, but also they allow me to decide if I want to describe my physical address as the location for my business, or instead of that, just use a zip code. So my question is, if we are only using a zip code as a reference instead of any particular physical address, is that also going to help me to generate traffic in, within the zip code or the area where we are providing the services?
So Brian, have you seen that? Just a zip code?
I have never heard of that.
Yeah.
Usually you still have to register with a specific physical address, even if you're doing a service area only business.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's something new.
What I think it is, Luis, is where you can hide your physical location, and then that creates the service area. But just know that the proximity will be based on that physical location. So you can't choose a different location. Like you can't, let's say you get the postcard mailed to Houston. You can't make your service area San Antonio, right? Google will know that they mailed the postcard to Houston. So that's how Google is going to look at it from the back end. Is that helpful for you?
Yeah, but actually, I requested I listed as my service area as the same zip code within my physical address.
Yes.
And I got the code. Okay. But I'm wondering how does that work, and if it's really going to help me to put in the same position that people that describe a physical address.
I don't think it will hurt you. You have to do the other things now. And those other things are to build up is to get your name, address, and phone number listed in all of these directories, and in as many directories as possible. And having a strong website that mentions, your service area and things like that on it. So those things are the other factors. There's not just one thing. Like if that makes sense. There's a lot of things that go into Google's algorithm to show you in the map section. But because you chose that zip code, and because your physical, where they mailed the postcard to that zip code, that's probably where you're going to show up first, most likely.
All right. Thank you.
And then as you build your prominence, your prominence and relevance, or your prominence, as you build your prominence over time, you can start to expand. You'll start to show up a little further from that area. So cool. Now we'll talk a little bit about content marketing. So in content marketing, there's bottom of funnel versus top of funnel. And within that, there's service content and geo content. So in top of funnel are usually blog posts, right? And in those blog posts are things like, asphalt versus metal, or things like that, but also can be written around geographic content. Let me pull this up again. So most expensive neighborhoods in Minneapolis. So when we look at most expensive neighborhoods in Minneapolis, these are our client Prominent Construction. They rank for this blog post that they have. What that does is it gives local relevance to your website, right? So you have your roofing related content and your local related content, and the combination of those is what helps with that SEO for those things. Now, when we're talking about content, as far as bottom of funnel and top of funnel, the bottom of funnel content is more roofing related content, roof replacement city, state. A page around that is more bottom of funnel. That's more where it's when people have commercial intent behind their search, they're looking to make a phone call most of the time. In the top of funnel content, these people are not looking to make a phone call right now. They're more doing some research, right? Best color blue roof for a blue house, things like that. So then we have service area, service content and geo content. We talked about that a little bit. Any questions around content building? We're kind of pushing time here. And then the thing that you guys can do most and what will really lead to huge increases in the trust factor of your business is reviews, right? 87% of consumers read online reviews for before taking action. Only 48% of consumers would consider even using a business with fewer than 4 stars. And negative reviews can have a significant impact on your customer behavior. And 79% of consumers say that they trust online reviews as much as a personal recommendation from a friend or family member. Those reviews are going to show up in the map section, right? So when we type in roofing contractors, roofing companies, things like that, you're going to show up in the map section. The placement of being number 1, 2, or 3 is not as important, but you can see the company with the most and best reviews is probably going to get the phone call, right? So Prominent here has 121 reviews with 4.6 star rating. They're probably going to get the phone call. So working on your reviews is extremely important. So the golden rule ratio for getting online reviews is 70% to your Google My Business listing, 20% to the BBB, and 10% as Facebook reviews. They call them recommendations now. So any questions on reviews or the review getting process? We'll do a full hour-long video or a webinar training in a few months on processes and how to get your salespeople and production team to ask for reviews and things like that. Now we'll talk a little bit about Google Ads. This is another opportunity, right? Lead cost isn't everything. Google Ads are going to be the most expensive way to make your phone ring. But what that leads to, it's part of that, what we talked about in the beginning of buying your market share, right? It's an expensive lead, but they're effective. And they're very effective because you can be very specific around what your ads are showing for and the locations that they're showing. The other thing that we find is that the companies that are most successful, that I talk to on my podcast or that we talk to in our agency, are the companies that can turn one deal into many, whether that's by getting referrals from that homeowner, whether it's from, knocking the 6-pack or the 5-5-10 or whatever you want to call it in the neighborhood, taking that one lead and turning it into many. Another big thing that you should be doing is running branding ads for slippage. So someone may click on your ad in Google, they go to your landing page, and then they leave without performing an action. From there, they may type in your company name to look up your reviews and things like that. If you're running branding ads, that catches those people there and keeps them in the funnel. And then the third thing, and we're going to go deep on this one a little bit later in a couple of months too, is that artificial intelligence will win in the upcoming years. I have a cousin who does machine learning programming. He has code in the Mayo Clinic and with one of the top banks in the country, and he was telling me about this code that they were working on where they could determine your bank balance within 3% at any given time in the future. And I thought, that is insane, right? This programming that they did will be able to determine that. But what it came down to was that they had to feed the machine the right information. And that's what it's going to really come down to over the next few years with Google Ads, is feeding the machine your conversions. So making sure that you're tracking everything very specifically in Google Ads, and then telling Google, hey, this one turned into a job, and this was a $12,000 in revenue. This was $25,000 in revenue. And in feeding the machine, that algorithm is going to learn who to show the ads to that are more likely to convert into those dollars. It's pretty crazy, but it's going that way, right? It's going that way. So now the next thing that you want to do to optimize and maximize your opportunities is get in on local service ads. If you are not running local service ads, get in there right now. Go sign up. Your local service ads, to get the best impression share, so this is conversion rate optimization, right? To get the best impression share in those maps, there's only 3 spots, right? But you can see that there's 50 plus roofers nearby. So Google has to decide which companies to put in those 3 spots. So the first thing that they're going to look at is your proximity to the potential customer's location. They're going to look at your review score and the number of reviews that you receive. They're going to look at your responsiveness to customer inquiries and requests. When someone clicks on this ad, they get a phone number to call. If you do not answer your phone, that is not providing a good user experience to that searcher. So that's going to hurt your impression share. Having your business hours properly set because of that reason. If it's after hours and you're not answering the phone, it's a negative impact on your Google local service ads. And then they're going to check if you've received, serious or repeated complaints. If you get those, you'll get knocked down a lot. But if you are participating in the program, if you're answering your phone, if you're dispositioning your leads properly on the back end, marking them as booked, marking them as completed, archiving the ones you didn't close, if you're doing that on the back end, you're going to get the greatest impact on your from your Google ads, Google local service ads. Any questions on that? Anyone? Feel free to jump in. If not, we'll talk about using Facebook the right way. So with Facebook, and so all social media, right? Social media is for browsers, not buyers. Does that make sense? For browsers, not buyers. These aren't people actively searching for something. Facebook is like the new television, or Facebook ads are like the new television commercials, right? Of today. People are, that's where people's eyeballs are. And so that's why you want your ads to be running there, but it's not where people are actively looking. So we'll start off with the first type of Facebook ad that you want to be running, and that is retargeting, right? Maximizing that brand impression. So they went to your website, they looked around, and now they went to their Facebook feed. Now you can put an ad in front of them. Hey, you visited our website and forgot to book your free roofing estimate, right? So now they're going, oh yeah, they're making that connection with your brand, right? That 7 times rule. The next thing you want to be running are branding ads. With branding ads, you may be running this to a cold audience in your area, right? Say, someone on your was around Houston, so maybe you want to target people that live in Sugar Land. That's where your perfect customer lives, right? So you run branding ads to those consumers in Sugar Land, geographically targeted ads to Sugar Land. Then, and video works the best, then people who have watched a certain percentage of your video, say 50% or more, now you can create audiences out of those people to run lead generation ads to, right? So then if you're in your lead generation, that's where you're asking them to buy, right? You're saying, hey, we have here's our financing offer, free upgrade. Call us now for your free inspection. All of those types of things lead to the lead generating ads. But the lead generation ads, It's difficult if you just throw that out into a cold audience who has never seen your brand before. So you start with the branding ads, and then as people interact with that, you're putting the lead generation ads in front of them. So the actions that you need to take with your Facebook ads are getting 3 to 4 videos for each type of Facebook ad film. So retargeting, lead gen, and branding. Create your ads and custom audiences based on which videos are watched in which sequence, right? Build a landing page that matches your messaging. So if your ad is for a financing offer, when they click on that and go to your landing page, it talks about your financing offer. And this allows you to pixel them for further retargeting. And then you just got to test. You got to keep testing and keep testing and keep testing. That's the biggest benefit of social media advertising is the ability to do that, right? You can run one set of ad copy and see how it performs, and then you can run a second set and see how that performs, and whichever one performs better, cut the loser and scale the winner. So moving on beyond that, we're moving into kind of the next level of things, and that is YouTube ads. In YouTube ads, there's a few different kinds. There are TrueView in-stream ads and TrueView discovery ads, and then there are pre-roll ads. So TrueView in-stream ads run on YouTube while people are watching videos, but also across the Google Display Network, right? All across the Google Display Network, which is very vast. So the Google Display Network includes websites like weather.com. Your ads can show up in apps in people's phones, all these different places. So it's very broad, and a great place. Wherever people go, you're going to show up there. Then there are pre-roll ads, and this is kind of, you have to have more of a promotional style video. That's the ad that runs before you watch the video. And then you have discovery ads, and the discovery ads are completely separate ads. They don't run in or with the videos that you're watching. They're ads that are displayed on the page with you there, with the content. So this is what's so cool about YouTube ads, and we'll have like I said, a full webinar on this. But one of the things that you can do is target. Google has what's called in-market audiences. So YouTube ads are part of Google ads. Google has in-market audiences. They know when people are in the market for something. So if they're interested in roofing services, you get to put ads in front of those people because they are in market. Google has determined that they are in market. Another crazy thing that you can do with YouTube is you can target competitors' YouTube channels or YouTube channels that you feel your perfect customer watches. You can place ads on those videos. Then you can target competitor and interest URLs. So in reality, you could put in all of your competitors' websites and potentially put videos in front of people who have visited their websites, which is crazy. So if you think that's crazy, put a 1 in chat, because I think that's pretty crazy. So, and then you could target, just like in Google search, you can target around keywords. So if someone types in roofing company Houston on Google search, and then they go and watch a video on YouTube about knitting, you can put your ad there in stream as a bumper ad, right in the video that they're watching. They could be watching funny cat videos, but because they search for roofing company near me, they get an ad for your company. So here's some action steps for YouTube. Film your videos with the proper video framework. Test a few different hooks to get the audience involved. Write down a list of all the audiences you can target. Competitor URLs, local websites, YouTube channels, all of these things. Just make a huge list. And you could create these in the audience tabs in Google Ads. Set a minimum budget of $50 a day for pre-roll to test which ads will work, and then run them and figure out, again, the same thing that you do with social media advertising. Figure out the winners and losers, scale the winners, and turn off the losers. So that's a huge factor in, and it's going to be a big, kind of a really big play over the next couple of years is going to YouTube. Then all of these things, all of the opportunities here that we talked about, visiting your website or your Google My Business listing, or clicking on your Google ads, or watching a YouTube ad, or watching your social media, watching an ad on social media, all of those things will become, you can then retarget all of those people, because 80% of people or more will not convert into a lead the first time that they saw your brand, right? Back to that rule of 7. So now, once you have everything set up, now you're retargeting them on Facebook with the Google remarketing ad. You can use the Bing ads ad. LinkedIn has something called the Insights ad. So you can, they visit your website and then you show up in their LinkedIn, on LinkedIn, you show up on their Facebook and Instagram, you show up all over Google. My dad was telling me that he was playing solitaire on his phone a couple of weeks ago, and he texted me, "Hey, your ad is in my solitaire game." Like, it's crazy, right? So the remarketing and retargeting ads work, and they're very inexpensive. It's very inexpensive to run these in comparison to Google search ads. And then really it's all about the follow-up from there, right? 78% of customers buy from the person that they speak with first, right? Who thinks that's a crazy statistic? That 78% of people, they just buy from the person they speak with first. So do you want to be the person that they speak with first? Right? So when your phone rings, make sure it's answered, right? After 5 minutes, if someone fills out a lead on your website, after 5 minutes, you have an 80% less chance of ever getting a hold of that person. They have moved on in the process. So make sure that you're responding to these leads. Don't try to automate the phone answering system, right? This is something that you got to get a live person on the phone right away. We see it in our call tracking with our clients. Some of our clients will try to use answering services, and with an answering service, when they call the phone, it rings one time, then it transfers to the answering service, and then it rings 3 times, and then they get put on hold. It says, "Hey, we'll have a representative be with you shortly." And then they sit on hold for 20 seconds, and then a representative gets on the phone with them. Don't do that. You lost them. You already lost them. People are not going to kind of sit on hold like that. And how would you feel, right? It's just, how would you feel? If someone picks up the phone and they have answers for you, it's a good experience, right? You're reducing the friction. So lead form to follow up, like we use a form reactor system. So when someone hits submit on that form, the phone is ringing. It's something that you can set up in your business. Set the appointment no matter what. When a consumer feels like they have an appointment set on their calendar, they're so much less likely to call the next person, right? So even if you don't have your calendar in front of you, even if you don't know your salespeople's schedule, set the appointment. Hey, how's Friday afternoon for you? We'll be there between 1 and 3, right? And in saying that we'll be there between 1 and 3, now, if you have to move things around, you can, but the homeowner feels that they have an appointment set, right? They feel like they don't have to make that next phone call. So back to you guys. I want to hear from a few of you. What are the top 3 things that you want to implement to hit your 2021 goals? Who wants to share here? Dante, you guys have been quiet over there. No, you guys are getting everything started.
Yeah, so what are three? So you're asking what are the three things we want to implement?
Yeah, out of the things that we talked about today, what three things stood out that you're like, hey, those are three things that we should really implement as we get this thing up and running?
Quite honestly, all of them is what we'd like to implement. When I look at what are other companies doing well, and you pointed out some of these companies. I mean, I think we need to become outside of all the online marketing and lead generation. We need to define a process for taking that lead. I come from an insurance call center world. We had a metric of we had to average a return call from a lead submission within 2 minutes. And so I understand how that probability drops off the further away you move from the lead submission. So we've got to define a plan for that. Outside of online marketing, branding, we want to be really good at that. And so not only do we have all these kind of virtual touch points where people are seeing us hopefully all over the place because we're retargeting, remarketing, but signage, trucks, banners, billboards, eventually. And then one thing I think is critical to reduce your cost of acquisition is referrals. And we're trying to look at examples of other companies that are really good at, having metrics like, for every roof sale, you should have, 1 point something or 2 additional roofs sold.
That's right.
In that same area. So those are things we need to kind of define and determine how we're going to roll that out.
Awesome, man. Thanks for sharing that. Crystal, what about you guys? All right. Alex Rodriguez has not contributed yet. How's it going, man? Level Edge. Everyone's going to hide from me now. When it's time to ask the questions, everyone's going to hide from me. Who's in chat? Alex, can you unmute? Or are you in a place?
No, I can talk. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. What's going on?
Hey, not much. Always a big fan of hop on these. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we're trying to implement, and just from watching this webinar, is I feel like you got to have kind of a framework for everything. You can't, maybe like when you're starting off, you can focus on just one channel. Like for us, it's been kind of more Google local services, just feel simple and straightforward. But, as we're really trying to scale it, we really notice that we need to have kind of, be doing a little bit of everything and really tracking our results so we can really see, what's working, what can we double down on, what do we need to kind of be fixing. Yeah, because our Google AdWords and our social media marketing, especially like video, that's something that we're really lacking on, and we're really focusing, these next few months on kind of picking up.
Awesome, man. And that's a big thing that you said. One of the things that I heard from it, or that I know about you guys, everyone's in a different phase of their business, right? So some of these things you may implement in phase 1, you can have them on your list, right, to implement next. Hey, we'll implement that one next quarter, right? Some of the things that are quick and easy is the local service ads, right? Getting reviews for your companies and just starting to create content. Those are some easy things that you guys can do on an ongoing basis. Some of the SEO stuff and the Google ads stuff and YouTube ads stuff, that's more challenging, right? It takes more technical knowledge in a lot of those avenues to do that. But you can definitely get it done and keep everything moving forward, right? Get traction in your business and keep things moving forward. So if anyone would like to kind of work with us or talk to us about how we can help you become the best known roofer, feel free to schedule a call. Go to roofermarketers.com, hit the schedule a call button, and we'll be able to talk to you there. Nikki can drop her information or the link in the chat there. Also, please tune into the Roofing Success podcast. We do a weekly podcast where I speak with some very successful roofing contractors and other coaches and consultants and industry experts to help you find more success in your roofing business. And so now we'll just open it up for questions. There will be a recording of this, Melvin, we'll be putting that on our YouTube channel, and you'll be getting an email when that happens. So you'll be able to refer back to it. Any other questions from anyone? How do you get the new book? How about this? Anyone on this drop your name, address, and phone number in the chat right now, and we'll mail you a book for free for being on the webinar today. Or I don't know if we have your information, or email nikki@roofermarketers.com. Drop your email in there, Nikki. So if you're on this webinar and you would like a copy of the new book, just email us. We'll get one out to Luis. There you go. If you could send that to get Luis's info. Thanks, Kevin, for showing up. Crystal, good. We'll send you one there. All right. I think we have everyone's email. So we'll reach out to you, get your physical addresses so we can send you a physical copy of the book, The Best Known Roofer. One month from now, next month, we'll have another series in the webinar, so that'll go into more of a deep dive on one of these topics. So look for the emails for that. Appreciate everyone's time. If anyone has any other questions, let me know. If not, have a great day.